And a good evening and welcome to Tuesday night's Queen's Table with myself, Dion John. Guess what? We have another incredible guest this evening. A lovely, lovely lady that I have known for years in pageantry. The lovely Miss Beauty UK 24 to 26, Adrianne Robinson. How are you?
Hiya, I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
Very good, very good. Thank you. Very excited. It's nice to have some sunshine over the last week or so, isn't it? I'm loving it. I can
Yeah.
feel summer coming. It's approaching now, isn't it? Even though it's a bit cold at times. So, a massive congratulations again for winning your title as Miss Beauty UK last September. How do you feel?
Thank you so much. Yeah, it feels great. Yeah, really good. Just yeah, and I keep finding myself doing this, thinking, oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Time to
Oh,
time.
it's a lovely feeling. We were chatting before about becoming a queen, and your time will eventually come. So how long were you competing in pageants before you had your crowning moment?
So I've been competing in pageants for 6 years. So I finally got crowned, obviously, last September. So 6 years. So it'll definitely come. So keep going.
Yeah, I'm a great believer in that. I think if you dream something and you work hard enough, your time will come. That's a definite, definite thing to say. I'd say that to any pageant girl out there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why did you choose the Miss Beauty UK system?
So I chose the system because the ethos kind of matched mine. So as you can tell, like our crowns and sashes are green, because it represents a lot around mental health, and things like that. So that kind of drew me to the system. Um, they're very kind of up on the charity work and things like that, that side of things. Which again, I quite enjoy that side. The appearances, the charity work. Obviously, I love being on stage, but it's all about sort of what happens behind the scenes and sort of behind the crown, if that makes sense. And
Definitely.
yeah, and Miss Beauty UK is a system that obviously celebrates all individuals, boys, girls, women, men. They even have like a non-binary section now. So it's really open to anybody. And as soon as I arrived at the weekend, I just felt so welcome and at ease, like with everybody, and we all got on so well. And we're going to have a fantastic reign together.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. It sounds like a really diverse pageant. It sounds
Yeah.
wonderful. And yeah, so how many days does it run over? Is it just one day with like your interviews and do you have your normal sort of rounds? How's the pageant laid out?
Yeah, so it was just one day. So the rounds are a little bit different. So because it's because the pageant's quite big on mental health, the opening round was camo, because it's green and obviously mental health, so that was really nice. Um, they do an optional sportswear loungewear, optional fashion wear, and then we had to do repurposed wear, which is something
Okay.
I've never done before, and I'm not a sewer or a creator, but the glue gun came out and I made something, so that was something. Uh,
I love it.
and mine was some old gym gear, and I did like a pride theme because I'm quite a big ally on, pride and things like that and diversity. So that's why I did that. And then obviously classic evening gown wear, which I really like. The interview was a little bit different. It was kind of a like a more more relaxed kind of thing. So the judges kind of observed you throughout the day, if that makes sense, which was quite
That's good.
nice. But also you kind of feel a little bit on edge because you're kind of like, oh my goodness, got to be, you know, at all
It's
times on top of things.
oh,
Yeah.
it
So
sounds
it was
amazing.
just, yeah, it was just really nice. And like, my sister queens, like, and kings, like, I've just made so many great friends, from just the one weekend. And my sister queen, who was also my roomie, Claire, like we get on so well, and like we'd never met before in person, and it was just great, you know.
That's a massive part of pageantry, isn't it? When you just connect with people, it sounds absolutely wonderful. And going back to the glue gun, though, I tell you what, I got bought one of those for Christmas the other year, and I absolutely love it. I keep gluing things back together. You know, it's so much
Yeah.
fun. Do you find it quite therapeutic? Because I do. It's like really
I,
good fun.
I do, yeah. And then you kind of find you get stuck to everything after a
Yeah.
while. You're a bit like, oh, I don't want to get stuck to that.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? But it's brilliant. The
Yeah.
rounds sound absolutely wonderful. So
Yeah.
you wanted to talk about there being no barriers in pageantry. So I'll let you take this one away.
Yeah, so I found that obviously, I mean, for me, like 6 years ago, like pageants to me, I would have thought toddlers and tiaras have to be absolutely stunningly beautiful. But then when you actually enter the world of pageants, like there really is no barrier in pageantry, because individuals are from all sorts of backgrounds, you know, plus size, petite, you know, you name it, pageantry's got it. And, you know, the other thing about pageantry is obviously, even with like your outfits and stuff, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Like all my outfits are from Vinted, my best friend, Vinted. Or,
I
you know,
agree.
I love the charity shops, you know, things like that. You know, you can literally get things from anywhere. And, you know, as well, like with how it's come with appearances and things like that, you know, if like myself, I'm on a bit of a low income. So for me, I do quite a lot more locally rather than traveling. And, you know, for me, that suits me because that's kind of like, you know, my means. You know, and I think it comes with, you know, sometimes you think it's a barrier when you become a queen or things like that. You know, you think to yourself, crikey, I'm not going to be able to go here, there, and everywhere. But then you have to kind of think sort of outside and inside the box, I guess. And it kind of just proves like how much pageantry's come forward, that there really are no barriers anymore. It's just you do you, and at the end of the day, every queen is a deserving queen, and they're unique, and they'll do their own reign, if that makes
That's it,
sense.
definitely. And
Yeah.
like I say, because things cost a lot of money as well, and people have to save money. I mean, it's brilliant that I'm always a great advocate for like vintage is wonderful because it's
Oh yeah.
reusing clothes as well, so they're not going to get wasted or just and I think that's brilliant. But traveling, you do what you can do, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
wonderful to do stuff in
absolutely.
your local community, and there should be no pressure on you having to travel around the country, travel around the world. You just do what you can do, and you always work hard, and you've been such an inspiration, and you're absolutely fabulous. All of us here at Pageantland were so proud of you and happy when you won your crown, because you did
Oh,
come on
thank
to
you.
Pageantland years ago, didn't you? So I
I
did interview
did.
you in one of the first years, I think, of doing Pageantland.
I
So it's
think so.
lovely to have you
Yeah.
back. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So we can move on to it's really important to embrace yourself as well. I mean, pageantry gives you confidence, doesn't it? And it's a wonderful thing to do. And you can do that and be yourself, embrace yourself, and then you don't hand over until next year. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah. So that's quite exciting. Yeah. So we don't hand over till next year. Like I say, we don't know any details at the moment. But yeah, it's just really exciting just to get that nice extra long reign, which is lovely. And you know, obviously wear my little crown for a lot longer. Um, but what I do find that's helped a lot is obviously I've done interview training with Hannah Golding, and she's done the campaign calendars. Now I've got one. I've had one for the last 2 years, and
Yeah.
honestly, I find it so useful because I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic and things. Like sometimes if someone invites me to something and it's online and I can't see it, I'll forget, and then it'll pop
Mhm.
up and I'm like, oh no, I forgot about that and I can't actually make it. Whereas now I've got my calendar, I literally write everything down that I'm going to definitely go to, and then I can look at it and go, right, I'm there that weekend. You know, whatever another weekend. And then what I always do is I always make sure I have a weekend to myself, because
Yes,
it's
very
so
important.
important to have that as well, because we can obviously be busy and every weekend be out and about, but at the end of the day, you've got to kind of learn to say no a little bit, which is one of
Definitely.
the words that none of us like. But at the end of the day, I have learned to say no a lot more. And just because sometimes that no just means you have to have that time to yourself and recharge for the next time, you
I
know.
completely agree. Especially now I'm getting older. I can tell you what,
Yeah.
I always block out. But I'm also dyslexic, and I find a visual calendar is wonderful, because then you
Yeah.
can kind of see where you're going, and then you can see the blocks of where you need to put in for your little breaks
Yeah.
and things like that. And it's just so important, because I think we've all been there, haven't we? Where you just you don't want to say no, because you always want to help others and things like that.
Yeah.
But you do have to put number one first, which is yourself, and just make sure you're well rested and can attend what you can attend. So that's a real fabulous thing to talk about. So you do a lot of charity work as well. You're a very busy lady. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm volunteering for a charity called Re-Engage. I've been doing it since last June. Now, I saw it on the Good Morning Britain 1 million minutes campaign, and I
Yes,
signed
I
up.
do. Yes, yes.
Um, Signed up, and it's actually a role that's remote, so I can do it from home, which again is so helpful. And obviously, it's just being a listener, basically. And obviously, with volunteering, obviously it's completely different to obviously your fundraising and things. But equally, obviously within pageants, we do have charity rounds that um, accept volunteering hours as well as how much you've raised, which I think is really good. And with the charity I volunteer for, you've got your own profile, and then it logs how many hours you do. So at the minute, I am on 5 hours. I do probably need to do more, but again, because volunteering is flexible and you do you and what you can do, I'm sort of in and out, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
obviously, because it gets logged, obviously you can see exactly how many hours you've done and what work you've done, which is quite good, because then obviously that goes towards charity titles and things, which I think is really good.
Yeah. Really good idea. And but 5 hours is a lot, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
charity
Yeah,
time, you can put in as just what you can. And I think that's a
yeah,
very important message to say, is just never feel bad about how much work you put in. Even if you put in 10 minutes a week, it's still
yeah.
helping others, isn't it? It doesn't
It
matter. But
is.
yeah, that sounds
Because
brilliant.
I volunteered before, so I wear it on my sash, but I got my 10-year service badge for volunteering
Oh,
for
lovely.
cancer
Congratulations.
research. Um, and that was great. I loved it. But then it just got to a point where it was just every week for
Yeah.
so many hours. And you just get to the point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I
No,
can't do this anymore.
yeah, that's
So
it. But
with
you've done incredible.
yeah, so obviously with volunteering, it's all about just having a look at what you can do. And again, it's like with your events, like I mentioned earlier, if you need that break, time away from it, have that time away and then come back, towards the end of the month and things. You know, but yeah, that's that. So I think with the pageantry charity awards, I think it's great that they're honouring, how volunteering and time as well as fundraising for money, which is also great. But I think it's great that they're moving the volunteering within that award as well, because I think it is a really valid category.
Definitely. Oh, it's been brilliant talking to you. You've absolutely incredible. And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for coming back here on Pageant Land as a queen as well. I knew you could do it. It's brilliant. There is a crown for everyone, isn't there? I'm absolutely delighted for you.
Yeah.
I remember we all saw it on Facebook, and when you got announced and everything, and it was just lovely. Massive
It was
congratulations
just so
to the team.
lovely. And
Yeah.
because people in the audience were like, you were like a rabbit in headlights, because I was just like, oh, it's me, sort of thing. But yeah, because one thing I am going to try and do through my reign, which I'm doing bits and bobs at the minute. So I probably spoke about it last time, but I was born at 25 weeks premature. So I was like a micro preemie. So for me, like pageantry's enabled me to embrace like my scars and things. So I'm quite happy to just show them off now. Whereas as a teenager, I used to just cover up sort of thing because I didn't want to. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and obviously do things within, the preemie community and beyond and things. I have got an Easter egg collection at the minute. That I'll donate over Easter. And then I'm on the radio again next Monday. And there's just little bits and bobs coming up, which is really nice.
Oh, lovely. What an inspiration. You're absolutely incredible, and congratulations on all your achievements. Thank you so,
Yeah.
so much for coming on Pageant Land this evening, and I hope I get to see you in person soon.
Thank you so much for having me, and hope to see you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.